All right. So today we are going to learn about sequence. Sequence is the order in which things happen. Sequence is the order in which things happen. You can tell me what is sequence? Sequence is the order in which things happen. Go ahead, Maria.
Sequence is the order
In which things.
happen.
Very good. All right. Who can tell me in their own words? What is sequence? Go ahead, Jennifer.
First, next, and last.
Yeah, I want you to remember that. When we are learning about sequence, I want you to remember what happened first, what happened in the middle or next, and what happened at the end. Okay? So I will say that again. I want you to remember sequence as the order how things happen. But how I want you to remember is I want you to remember that things have happened first, next, and last. Those are the three words that I want you to remember. Can you guys say first,
First,
next,
next,
last?
last.
All right. I'm going to tell you an example of sequence. Okay? I'm going to use an example that happens to you every day. It's the order that you wake up in the morning. Okay? This morning, I wake up. Okay? Then immediately when I wake up, I went to the bathroom and brushed my teeth. Then I like to drink coffee. So I make a coffee, drank my coffee, then took a shower, dressed up, and came to school. Can anybody tell me an example or any sequence that you have? Go ahead, Jeremy.
I woke up, I brushed my teeth, I got dressed. My mom drove me to school.
I thought you've been driving.
Then I went on the line to get my temperature checked. And then I went upstairs to the elevator. And then I went to class. That was no one.
That was a long sequence. What happened at the end?
So Stephanie.
And came into the classroom.
And then, yes, I came into the classroom. And then a couple seconds later, I see Nicole. And then a couple seconds later, I see Jose. And then a couple seconds later, I see Maria.
Okay. Anybody else have another sequence? Now, not about how you wake up in the morning. Tell me another sequence, since how you do it. You can even though make a sequence for how you tie your shoes, how you do your bed, how you read, how you play, how you spend time with your family. Tell me a sequence, Maria.
So I got ready for bed.
Okay.
Then I just put my little slippers on and get water because I got thirsty. I put the air on like all the way because it's only like whenever I put my blanket on I get sweaty.
So Jeremy was telling us a sequence for his routine in the morning, and Maria was telling us a sequence for her night routine. That's all right. Thank you both for sharing. You want to share too? Go ahead. Tell me a sequence.
So after school finished, sometimes I go to Starbucks or McDonald's to get something to eat. Then I go to my house. Then I change. Then I may go to the store, buy some stuff, and then I come back.
So we have a whole day routine. A morning, and the afternoon, and the night. That by itself is just a sequence. Things that happens in the morning, things that happen in the afternoon, and things that happens in the night. You guys put the three of you together as sequence. So sequence is the order how things happen. Things happens in order. One things happen first, one things happen next, and things happen at the end. happened last. Same thing happens with the story. So I'm gonna grab one story. Can you believe that stories also have sequence? When we are reading a story, there are some things that happen at the beginning of the story, and there are some things that happen at the end of the story, okay? We're gonna read a story about Meg. Meg got out of bed. But you know what happened with this story? It's not in order. Can you guys help me to put this sequence in order? Let's go finish to read it, and then we can do it together. Put the sequence in order. Meg wake up. So she got out of bed, and then she wake up. Is that possible that she got out of bed before she wake up? Is that possible? That's not possible. What needs to happen first? What needs to happen first, Stephanie?
Meg woke up.
Meg wake up. Yeah. And then let's see. Then she made her bed, and then she got out of bed. Is that possible that she made her bed before she gets out of bed? What will be the next order?
She got out of bed.
She got out of bed. So we're gonna move this sentence from here and put it at the end. Now, what I like when I'm reading a story is to put it in order and read it again. You know, another word for read it again is reread it. We read the story again, we reread the story, and then to see if the story makes sense. Sometimes your teachers are gonna be asking you to read the story and draw pictures or write sentences to describe the sequence. Now, when they're asking you to describe the sequence, what they're asking you to do is to put the things in order. Remember, sequence is equal order. So you have to put the things in order. You have to put the story in order. In other words, you have to put what happened first, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end of the story. All right? If I gave you a story about how to grow a grass, do you think you guys can work together to put the sentence in order? Would you like us to read it together, or do you want to start reading by yourself? And then if you don't know any word, we can jump in. Would you like to try that? Okay. Just remember, these sentences are not in order, but I want you to start reading the first sentence, the second sentence, and the last sentence to see if that makes sense. Another way that I can see if the things are in order or they follow a sequence is that I ask myself, does it make sense? So as we read, we're gonna ask ourselves, does it make sense? Okay, let's start reading.
Then the seeds will make grass.
Okay, then let's go slowly. Then the seeds will make grass. Do you believe that could be the first sentence? No, because it has also the word then. That means that something happens before, no? Then the seeds will make grass. How do you want to try the second sentence?
You must plant them.
You must plant them. You must plant them. Stephanie, let's read it together.
You must get seeds.
You must get
Some seeds.
some seeds. I wonder. What could be the first sentence? What is this story about? Jeremy, what is this story about?
How to grow grass.
It's how to grow grass. So what's going on there? Maria, what's going on there? What happened in this story? Is this story in order? No, what happened?
The story is like upside down.
It's missing the order of the story. It's not in order. We need to find the sequence for this story. Okay, how can we do that? Stephanie, how can we do that? Can we reread it and then find the order? Okay, let's see if we can try it again. Go ahead.
Then the seeds will make the grass. You must plant them. You must get some seeds.
What should happen first? What should happen first?
You must get some seeds.
You must get some seeds. It's impossible that you can grow some seeds if you cannot have the seeds first. That's right. So where will you put that sentence? Go ahead. You want to move it? All right. We move the last sentence to the beginning of the paper. Now let's go read the next sentence to see if that makes sense. Always we're going to ask ourselves, are they in order? Does it make sense? All right, go ahead.
You must put some seeds, you must plant them, then the seeds will make grass.
How does that sound for you, Stephanie?
Good.
Is that in order now? Yes, Maria. You think they are in order now? What do you think, Jeremy?
They're in order.
They are in order now. How is it better, the story? Will it help you to understand the story better when they are in sequence, when they follow a sequence? Yeah? When we are reading a story, usually the authors, they try to make sure they put stories in order so we can understand better the story. They follow a sequence. Can anybody say sequence?
Sequence.
What is the word we're learning today?
Sequence.
Sequence. What are the 3 words that will help you to remember the sequence? What happened?
First, next,
What
last.
happened next and what happened last? Who can repeat that for me? What will help us to remember the sequence? What happened, Stephanie?
First, next, last.
Thank you. How about you, Maria? What will help you remember to put the sequence in order?
First, next, and last.
First, next, and last. Okay, we have one more story. Can we do it together again?
Yes.
We have. This story is about a person whose name is Don. You guys say Don?
Don.
Is this a short sound of the vowel or a long sound?
Short.
Short sound. What is missing?
The E.
The silent E. Doesn't have the silent E, so I'm going to say the short sound. Okay, let's continue. So let's review before we move on. We're going to do the last one. I want to see how you guys can record, Jeremy. How can you, what do you remember about what we did in the last 2 exercises about sequence? What is sequence? When you think about sequence, what comes to your mind? What do you think of? What do you think of, Maria?
First, next, and last.
Okay, you think about how things happen first, next, and last. What do you think of, Jeremy, when you think about sequence?
The order how things happen.
That's right. Sequence is related to the order how things happen. How about you, Stephanie? What reminds you the word sequence?
The order of how things happen.
Can you give me an example of that? What will be a sequence? Give me a second. Jose. Yeah. Give me an example. Maria, give me an example of sequence. A short sequence, like 3 steps. Something that happens at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened in the end.
An example is like going to school and then
When you come to school, and then what happened next? And then you leave. That's right. So it's every day you practice sequence when you come to school, says Maria. You come to school to learn, then you learn, and then you go home. And sometimes those sequences, they repeat it again. Like the example that I put you at the beginning of the lesson that I said, I went to my bed, I wake up, and then I got coffee, took a shower, and put my clothes on. It repeated. The sequence repeated all over and all over again. And for you, it repeats every day. And so the stories you get to repeat. The sequence is going to change, Jeremy, depending on the sequence, on the story that you're reading. Okay? So yes, you're right. Sequence is how things happens. The order how those things happen. Okay? All right. And I love that you guys remember that when we think about sequence, we also think about what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, what happened at the end of the story. We also can say what happened first, what happened next, and what happened at the end. Put your hand down. All right. Can we do one more activity? Yeah, we're going to do it together. We're working together. This is a teamwork, okay? And at the end of the sessions, I would love you to turn to your partner and tell your partner what did you learn about today. Thank you, Nicole. All right? So instead of telling me what is sequence and how will you remember about sequence, I would love you to turn to your partner and tell that. So Maria is going to tell me, because there is just 3 of you here. And then Jeremy is going to tell Stephanie what is sequence and how will you remember. But before we get till the end, let's review these sentences here. Okay, let's go read it together and then let's see if they are in order. Remember, when we are reading sequence, we are going to ask ourselves, does that make sense? Do I need to put this in a different order? That was how the events happen in the story. Those questions will help us to put the story on sequence, to put it in the order how things happen in the story. Okay? Can we start? And we read it together. Later, he rode his bike back home. Do you see any CBC word? Do you see any silent word, silent E word there? Can we count then?
1, 2, 3.
So if I see the silent E, what sound do I say? Short sound or long sound?
Long sound.
Long sound. We're connecting this lesson with the other one. Very good. You notice those silent E words there. That help you to read faster when you know the rule of the silent E. Okay, let's move on. We're understanding this story. So later he rode his bike back home. Was that supposed to be the first sentence or something is missing there?
Something is missing.
Looks like something is missing. Because it says later. If it says later, looks like something happens before, no? Yeah? Let's go look at the next one. He rode down the street. He rode down the street. I saw another silent E. You see it? Yeah. He rode down the street. Let's go to the next one. Don got on his
bike.
red bike. Raise your hands and tell me what you think will go first. Stephanie.
Don got on his red bike.
Don got on his red bike. What do you think, Maria? Do you think that will be the first one? What do you think, Jeremy? That could be the first one. Can you move it? All right. Keep the other one in the same order so we can read it. Put this one here. Very good. Let's go read the next two ones. Later, he rode his bike back home. What do you think? What comes to your mind? When you say no, what do you mean?
It's not right.
It's not right? What is not right?
It's in the wrong place.
Oh, it's in the wrong place. That may not be the sequence, no? What do you think? Yeah, what do you think, Stephanie? Which one can you choose to put in the second place?
He rode down the street.
Okay, can you move the sentence? All right. Now, do you guys think it's in order and correct, or we need to make more changes?
It's correct.
It's correct. What do you think, Stephanie? Can we read it together to see if that makes sense? Let's see. Don got on his red bike. He rode down the street. Later, he rode his bike back home. How do you like it? Very good. All right. Let's do some turn and talk. So Jeremy, turn to Stephanie and tell Stephanie what is sequence and how do you know about sequence? How do you know what will help you to remember what is sequence? Okay, Maria, you tell me. What do you remember about sequence?
What about help you remember about sequence? The order of how things happen.
That's right. That's the order. When you put things in order, that's sequence. Very good. And what will help you to remember sequence?
First, second, and last.
Yeah, you can also use your fingers, first, second, and last. Or you can say at the beginning, at the end. All right, very good. Good job, guys. Good for you. You guys did a good job. Yay. All right.